Confidence isn't this one and done type of thing. Confidence isn't just a thing that you decide to do and it's completed over, saying that you feel confident and that you love yourself and that everything is going to be fine and that you love yourself completely. Like, it's not going to ever be this perfect scenario. It's always going to be constantly evolving into something else. And for me, I tied my confidence to people outside of me, and I've been blessed enough to get the amount of compliments and love from other people, but within experiencing compliments and the love from other people around me, I started believing that confidence was wrapped around what other people were saying. And within experiencing that concept in your mind and believing that you should be confident because all the people around you are saying that you're beautiful, but if you don't feel it, then there's no such thing as confidence and you're not really experiencing it. And for me, I tied my confidence to the way I was doing my makeup and the way I was dressing and the way that I was belittling myself by also not allowing myself to fully express who I was as a person. And I feel like we can all really equally agree that it's like a common ground and like a common experience that we all feel to be something that's outside of us and not necessarily things that we already have pre-existing. I feel it's really important to find confidence within your own self-expression and the way that you show up as a person, and not necessarily the outward approval that comes within being yourself. And I think we all believe confidence is within our appearance and the way that we look. And for someone that has looked in all of those type of ways and all those directions, I believe, like, if I told myself and I looked in the mirror and I said, wow, you are so pretty and so forth, and then I would have never healed, and I never would have found the confidence that I needed to, because we are being thrown in so many different directions, believing that it's going to give you the confidence that you need, but necessarily it's not a lack in the way that you speak to yourself. It's sort of a reflection that you need to look within and recognize that shadow work is the closest thing to confidence that you'll ever get to. Like, not fully, but in a way or two, it is really important, because for me, when I did shadow work, it really showed the parts of me that I was really scared of embodying. And for me, I felt such discomfort when it came to experiencing being myself raw and authentically, and I never knew where that came from. And whenever I was capable of recognizing why I felt the way that I was feeling, I was able to find actual comfort and love for myself, because I was able to recognize this is where this is coming from and this is how I can solve it and this is how I can heal myself in that situation. And like, for me, it was just such a challenging thing, because I never understood, why do I not like showing myself raw and authentically? Like, why is that something that is so scary? And I'll be really honest with you guys, like, when you come to my channel, I will be very raw and authentic. Like, I don't really care. But I believe for so long I was in the presence of people who felt very uncomfortable within being themselves raw and authentically. And within me being around those type of people, I didn't feel safe. So within people saying like, oh, well, if you show up with no makeup or if you show up undone, then you're not going to be lovable. And, I've experienced like loved ones saying like they feel the same way, and that they feel as if they show up undone, then they're not going to be lovable. Or I've felt like when I showed up undone, that I was still not good enough because I wasn't getting the validation that I loved or needed. Whenever I was like looking for that, I found myself looking for outward approval, you know? So in my journey of finding confidence, it was within finding discomfort in the situations and grounding myself within it. I believe like so often we believe like the people that we love the most should give us the love that we believe we deserve, but it's not necessarily outside of us that we find confidence. It's usually within ourselves, and that took me a really long time to recognize. But whenever I gave myself permission to just show up undone and raw and authentically, I found so much comfort. So if you're struggling with finding, you know, confidence, usually shadow work really opens that gate and opens that door to understanding why you feel scared. Because I was always told like, well, if you show up with no makeup, if you show up with your hair messy, you're not lovable. But that's not what confidence was. You know, confidence is just wrapped around so many different elements in life, and it's not really about those things. So for me, what I recognized when I felt the most confident and when I found my true confidence, it was within me showing up and loving myself enough to say, hey, you can show up undone, and if no one else around here is gonna love you, I promise you, I will love you the most, and I will cherish you for who you are, raw and authentically. And if someone doesn't believe that you're not good enough, guess what? I will be the person, I will be the testament to understanding that you are so good enough. So I talked to myself and gave myself the relief of understanding like, I am good enough, despite what anybody would say, you know? And I've been blessed enough to not like experience cruel people, because there's a lot of cruel people out here. I remember when I was in school, like I just experienced a lot of mean people. But within recognizing like no one's outward expression towards who you are as a person matters, like it doesn't, it really doesn't. You can change and alter your life in so many dramatic ways, because I'll say it again and again, we all have different perspectives of what life is and what life truly should be in our eyes, you know? So I can believe that confidence should be within the way you treat yourself and how you show up on a day-to-day basis, not necessarily the way you look. And to other people, they might assume confidence should be in the way that you look and how pretty you are and how much validation you get. But we all have different perspectives, and once you can make your own perspective and concepts of thinking and you make it loud enough, you can outrun everybody around you. You can make your life greater by making sure that no one else's opinions outrun yours. So within doing that, it's given me so much relief. And I feel like we can all give ourselves more peace and fulfillment within just being ourselves raw and authentically. And it's just so enjoyable and it's so fulfilling for sure. And like once you can recognize that you're good enough just the way you are without having to be all the things that other people want you to be, you can actually feel fulfilled within being exactly who you are. But I have recognized that like confidence wasn't within all of those things, but within telling myself like, okay, so if I was in love with someone, right, and they were to, I don't know, get me my favorite drink, or they would perfectly, I don't know, cut up a grapefruit for me and it takes a hot minute, you know, just doing small acts of gestures that might be out of character for you, but for your fulfillment that comes that comes afterwards, you know what I mean? So within giving yourself the discomfort but also the reward that comes after it, you feel more confident because you know that you're capable of loving yourself in a grand gesture, grand way. I've found it to be the most fulfilling and I've loved it so much, because let's say like you came out from, you know, a big trip and you're exhausted and you are tired, and like you think about all the things that could make you feel happy, fulfilled, and so forth. Like, let's say, I don't know, you really want to take a shower and take a nap. But for you to get there and to do that, you have to unpack all of your things, because you don't necessarily want to do it after you just settle down. So it's within taking action on the little things that might feel uncomfortable at first. But when you take action towards those things and actually show up for yourself and love yourself enough to say, hey, I'm gonna do this for you because I know that's gonna help you in the future. And that's helped me so much within doing all those things. But another part of this that I really wanted to make in this video is that within change and within growing and evolving as a person, there's going to be a lot of discomfort. And I think that goes within finding confidence, within evolving as a person. For me personally, like, as a woman, all of our bodies are going to change inevitably. And there is such a pushback when it comes to our bodies changing as women. I think we are constantly being told that we have to be perfect, or necessarily like this perfect type of beauty, and it doesn't, exist. And it's so funny to me because we are constantly being told to be this type of perfect person and to be perceived in a certain way. We see people get surgeries to be perceived or loved in a certain way. And it really hurts, because I've been someone who's, considered getting a nose job just to feel outward validation or just to feel more accepted. And I think we are looking for things outside of us constantly. And I think when you can find confidence and love within who you are, just as you are, you'll find it to be way more fulfilling. Because when you think on what you're gonna do before you actually do it, there's a lot that actually comes into everything. So, like, for me, basically, I recognize that within getting a nose job or within fixing myself in a certain way, I was trying to fill this gap and this feeling, whether it was like feeling more accepted for who I was as a person. And it wasn't necessarily like an insecurity, it was more of a lack that I felt. So I think if we were to just really open up and think about why we want to do something, it really can be much more rewarding than the outcome of actually getting it done. I feel like we assume that the destination is more fulfilling than the journey, and the journey can be much more fulfilling. But I have such bad ADHD, but like, no, I think that still makes sense with this concept. But within experiencing life on a day-to-day basis, we are constantly evolving and changing, and I think it's really important to love yourself as you're changing and growing. So for women, we are experiencing having cellulite and stretch marks, and that can feel really uncomfortable, and it can feel really hard to accept. And I've said this in previous videos, but like, it's really important to give yourself like exposure therapy to the things that you do not fully love yet, because I feel some people are very blessed to be around women who are openly like naked around them, which sounds kind of crazy, but I think that can be such a blessing to experience, because you're actually being shown what's real and what's authentic and true to women, instead of assuming that like you should be this certain type of person, when in reality it doesn't exist, because our bodies change despite what we want. And that can be really scary, but it's like such a beautiful thing to experience, because when you look back at your body and how much it's changed, you experience the enlightenment of understanding that your body is ever growing with you, and it's not something that's like constantly here. Like, it just shows how much we evolve as humans. And like, I don't know, I think you have to surround yourself with the people that can give you the love that you deserve, instead of expecting yourself to be, I don't know, accepted by random people. And that not necessarily goes around just like your body, that goes within your character, and I mean, I guess your actual appearance. But I don't know, I think we surround ourselves with people who have negative insight of what beauty should look like, and trust me, that can literally be like the most challenging thing ever, is being around someone who believes we should be a certain form of a human to be decently, I don't know, like attractive or good enough. But within recognizing like your people who you surround yourself with are going to shape you into who you are. And if you surround yourself with amazing people that can love you and give you the approval and support that you need, you will be much happier as a person. Because I think a lot of the times when we are confident and happy just as we are, we can upset so many people. Because I don't know, I feel like for me, I've constantly been told like, why are you such a happy person, or why are you so, I don't know, like optimistic. And I think sometimes like your light can throw people off and make them feel dismantled in a way. But I think when you can recognize that people have their own concepts of thinking, and like they believe like, oh, you're so weird for being this like such happy person, I don't know, I think you just sort of distance yourself from being expressive towards those type of people, and you tend to like, I don't know, create more boundaries with how you express yourself and the people that you're around, and it can be really healing. So I think within setting boundaries, within giving yourself exposure therapy, within accepting your body and your facial appearance and just loving it fully can be the most amazing thing you can do for yourself. But it's just, you don't necessarily grow so much, or you're not better than what you were a few months ago because you accept yourself more. I think just within you showing up, just within you understanding that you need love, and just understanding that you deserve love despite how much you've changed or evolved and grown. Like, I don't know, I think it's really important to, I don't know, accept yourself in all stages, in all of the ways you've grown as a person. Because I don't know, I think we tend to look back at our past selves and believe like, oh my god, it's so embarrassing, or like that person or that version of me was so unaware of the way she was treating herself. But I think you have to be in love and infatuated with who you used to be and not who you necessarily are now. Within finding confidence, within finding love within who you are as a person, it also comes with acceptance of who you used to be. Within finding confidence within who you used to be, you find true enlightenment within being yourself, raw and authentically. But I hope this video helped in any way and gave you a little bit more insight. And I'm sorry if I feel off today. I've literally, my iPhone storage has been like going insane. I have so much freaking storage, so I don't know what's happening. It's just not allowing me to record. But soon I will hopefully have a better camera so I can record with no stress for you guys. But I love you, and if you're watching this to the end, I say thank you, and I really hope to see you guys the next time I upload a video. So bye!